One of them that you might have seen is a VTuber called Neuro. This is probably one of the most unique ones. She is 100% AI. So her creator, its name is Vettel. He's a little turtle.
Oh, I do know this turtle because I've definitely seen videos. Yes. And I was like, you can kind of be anything you want to be when you VTube.
Their dynamic is one of my favorites because it's like this Frankenstein and Frankenstein's monster type of thing. And she learns things, and Vettel tries to be able to kind of tone down some of the things by adding filters, and she bypasses the filter for some reason, and Vettel's like, okay, how did you do that? Wait, what? So there's like funny, weird, like hiccups that happen like that make the streams super entertaining.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Tell Me About, the show where I've got questions, and thankfully, I know the people that have the answers. Today, we return to the first episode. Way back when, the very first time I had a question, it was about VTubing. And thankfully, Coefficient was there to help me and teach me about the world of Hololive through the game HoloCure, which I fell in love with and still to this day think is awesome. But since then, as I've learned more about Hololive and all the various subsidiaries of that, there's also been a few other VTubing things that have happened since then. And there's other groups and organizations and VTube collaborations and different people who are coming up in the VTube space who are very awesome and doing great things, and I genuinely know nothing about them. So once again, we return to ask Coefficient to please tell me about VTubing. Co, welcome to the show.
I knew you'd be crawling back into this rabbit hole.
Yeah, what can I say?
I knew it. Well, welcome back, of course. I'm glad that you were able to at least learn some things last time. I'm pretty happy that you were able to. You learned quite well. You know, you learned a lot and you took it all in. And which is saying a lot, because a lot of people that I talk to that are trying to get into this stuff, they're like, all right, whatever you say.
Sure.
As long as you're happy.
Yeah, look, I'm eternally curious, so I want to know as much about stuff as possible. And this is a big part of the space that, you know, I occupy, that you occupy online, and I want to know more about it. So I'm not just like, what are they doing over there? You know?
Exactly. So I thought potentially, we talked about Hololive last time, and you know, they're huge. They're probably arguably the biggest VTuber agency ever. So I thought maybe we could talk about other people in this space that's not just Hololive. There's plenty of other agencies that are not Hololive, but not just agencies, but indie VTubers, independent, that are free from agencies, which I imagine that you have heard about quite a few of them and have seen. So we're going to go ahead and get started with a few of them. And do you know of any, just start off by asking you, do you know of any right now that come off on the top of your mind?
Sure. I will see clips and shorts and TikToks all the time from VTubers who I know are very much not associated with Hololive. Also, the co-host of the podcast I do, Geekenders. Dodger has a VTube character now that's like a mushroom person. You know, there's the one boy, I don't know anyone's name, so my apologies to literally everyone about to, but like the one girl who does like a, like I'm a 1950s VTube model. And I think it's incredibly interesting that people are being as creative as they are in the space where for a while I thought it was, oh, that's an anime girl with boobs. You know, there's a lot more going on there.
Yeah, and the 1950s cartoon one, I think you're talking about Pumpkin Potion. She's great. Pumpkin Potion is probably one of the coolest because she not only does the VTuber stuff, but she kind of has that old black and white. Are we talking about the same one? Black and white aesthetic.
The filter and the whole aesthetic. And it's like, yeah, I work at a diner or whatever, you know. But it's but interacting with the audience on that level is very fun. I like when people have, you know, cute little gimmicks they do. It makes the stream a little bit more than, you know, just talking at someone.
Yeah, exactly. And Pumpkin Potion is one of my favorite ones, too.
Question. Whoa, question.
Yeah.
Does that qualify? Like, I know you were talking about the whole Oshi thing last time, and you're like, okay, that's my favorite. Are you allowed to multi-Oshi?
Yeah. Multi-Oshi is a great term. Yeah, you can. Actually, so you can have multiple Oshis, but then there is a concept of a Kami Oshi.
Whoa, what is that? Like the god
Kami
level
is,
one?
yeah, that's like your end all be all. That's your god. That's your god Oshi. That's your end all be all Oshi, okay?
Okay, follow-up question.
Uh-huh.
Is that because someone had a multi-Oshi thing going on? And they're like, no, you have to pick, dude. Who's the one above all the others? You got to make a choice. I'm like, fine.
Well, the thing is I think it turned out that way, but then eventually the person asking that question, they're like, I now know what you're feeling. Now I have to pick one because there's so many cool ones, right?
Right.
So eventually what it ended up being was there's so many cool ones and there's so much of my time. But there's always that one, like you watch multiple shows or stuff, but you'll have that one special show that you always go back to. It's your comfort show, right? That's kind of how I think that's the line of thinking when it comes to that is that, they have so many cool ones and you hop around from VTuber to VTuber, from stream to stream, but you still have that one end all be all. You love them so much, you want to support them as much as possible, and you always go back to them in times of need, I guess.
Right, that god tier number one, you're the biggest fan of that person. However, when they're not streaming, you go and watch other people, and that's just fine.
Yeah, that's totally fine. Exactly. Like, for example, Grey's Anatomy might not be on, but you might go over to see, I don't know, Scrubs, maybe, any other show that's currently going on.
That in this example, Grey's Anatomy, the 85 season, so dramatic, it's ridiculous,
22.
is connected to Scrubs. They're roughly the same.
Yeah. To be honest, I don't know. Oh, I guess House. That's like the trifecta of medical shows that I know. I don't know anything more than that.
Yeah.
It's like House, Scrubs, and Grey's Anatomy. That's it.
In that pyramid, where do you fall in there? Yeah.
Exactly. I'm a House Andy.
Yeah.
Either way, that's a comp. So it's okay. You can have multiple Oshis if you want, Jesse.
Maybe I will.
I don't have like an Oshi per se. I have some PTSD from calling people my Oshi.
Oh, I'm aware.
And
last time you were like, yeah, well, my Oshi's this, and then you're like, well, I don't know. Well, maybe I don't. So I'm just saying, it's tough. I get it. I understand.
Now, when it comes to, let's talk about different agencies. So we talked about Hololive. Let's introduce you to some other ones, and maybe some of these might become familiar. Okay. Now, these can range from anywhere from, here in the West or even in Japan. I think those are the two primary locations and areas where you will find VTubers to be very prominent. So on the eastern side, like Japan in particular, they have a lot of different agencies that do extremely well, if not similarly to Hololive in a way. Mm-hmm. One of the ones that are really, really big is Niji Sanji. Niji Sanji is actually arguably, I think, older than Hololive at this point, and they have way more VTuber talents. So you can look up a few of them, so I can send you a few VTubers that are prominent there. These are huge. One of them is Kanae Kuzuha. Kuzuha, I think, is like the biggest VTuber over there in Niji Sanji.
I was going to ask because when you look at Hololive, for example, all of them, even though they're all sort of a variety of characters, they all kind of fall into this, like, I don't want to say, like, anime tropey, but, like, they're all characters, but still gorgeous drawings of, like, that's my perfect girlfriend kind of vibe. And I was curious what these would be, and it's a different aesthetic.
Well, there is some very pretty people, but I will say that Hololive definitely tends to stick to a theme.
Yeah.
when it comes to their designs, like for example, Gen 3, they have like a fantasy theme, right? So there's like a knight and a bunny and an elf, and one of them is gamer, so they're like have some more RGB kind of gamery type aesthetic and stuff like that, right?
But aesthetic wise, they have kind of like extra frills and outfits that are cut in no way that seems logical, or props and things. And the ones you're showing me now are gearing more towards pale, dark clothing, possible vampires, and every character you've sent me, I'm worried will attempt to kill me at some point.
Oh boy, you have no idea. But
whoa!
While you have a whole bunch of different people that I've just shown you, you also have you have the entire spectrum here. You have from people with crazy designs and kind of more mystical to literal office workers. Okay, like he's just a normal guy.
Yeah,
all right. His name is Kizuku. He's a normal person. He's just a normal dude. It's really funny.
Cool. So wait, question for you then. You know, you had mentioned that with Hololive, there were themes and each group had its own thing, and sometimes they'd interact with each other, and that is super fun. And we joked last time about how maybe there wasn't a place for my slime guy with one big eye and one little eye, and right? But this seems more like maybe this, instead of Hololive, maybe I would go to someplace like this if I was going to be in a VTube organization with my incredibly weird character.
I don't. Just for for different reasons, you might not want to.
Oh,
this is specifically for the Japan region.
Oh, okay. And is it like we don't want Jesse there? Is that the vibe?
Yeah, mostly because the English division is not as good as Japan, and we'll leave it at that. You deserve better, Jesse. That's it.
Okay. All right. Well, I like Office Guy. I think he's great.
I love Office Guy too. Office Guy is the best, okay? Office Guy is my favorite.
Let me ask you a question about that then. When we talked Hololive, it was these are characters who are being played by the talent. Is that the same thing here? Or are these people that have created something on their own and then join? Because I feel like that's something that we see often as well, which is people will make a VTube model, do a whole thing, introduce their character, and then later join an organization with all the backstory and all the stuff they've done and kind of relaunch under that, rather than, oh, hey, my name's Jesse. I'm going to be playing the character of Slime Guy for, you know, like, it's a different experience, I would imagine.
Yeah, so these members, they're really big, and these predate like when I was around, like when they first showed up. From my understanding, and maybe somebody can correct me, but from my understanding, these are the same as Hololive. These are different personas played with different people. It's usually the same exact concept. So if they do decide to step down and not do that anymore, then they have to leave that name with the company.
Is that more of a like an Eastern thing? Like something that would be...
Yes. I mean, that's usually... most of these companies are very rooted in that. Yes, they keep the IP of the character that they're playing.
Gotcha.
There are some exceptions. Like, there are some Hololive VTubers that joined before. Like, they were themselves prior to them joining, and then they joined, and then they became... So there's some exceptions. I don't know the semantics behind the contracts and stuff. I don't know what happens afterwards, but I do know that there are some VTubers, for example, like Sakura Miko and even Suisei. They were VTubers beforehand, and then they joined Hololive with their IP.
Gotcha.
So I don't know what would happen afterwards, but I do know that I think that with Niji Sanji, it's the same thing with they joined, they have a persona, but this kind of predates the whole theme, which is why you see this crazy array of different characters. Like you see Office Worker Man, right? We all love Kizuku, by the way. Yeah. He's great. And then you have, but you also have characters and people like Debiru, which is just a little munchkin.
That's what I'm talking about. That's the kind of VTube I want to be in, where it's just like a weird creature.
Yes, so you have all sorts of different people here, where Hololive is predominantly all girls.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of getting at, is Hololive is like a collection of wacky people, but visually they're all like, an attractive person. Well, this is kind of like all over the place.
Yes, it's all over the place, exactly. And Hololive is separated. Like there's a guys division and there's a girls division. Hololive is girls and Holo Stars is guys. Whereas Niji Sanji kind of is all different generations have boys and girls. So
gotcha.
If you did have a chance for your slime guy, it'd probably be with Niji Sanji's JP. Yeah, 100%.
All right.
But so yeah, that's Niji Sanji. They've been around for a long time, and they're primarily, I think, Hololive's biggest rivals in the world of VTuber agencies, I guess, if you want to think of it that way. After that, let's go ahead and take a look at something in the West, right? A little bit in the West and stuff like that, which is a very interesting VTuber agency because it's kind of like a family indie VTuber group. It's only 4 people. I really like this group a lot. I met a lot of these people and they're super kind, super nice. They're called Vchiban, right? Okay. And Vchiban houses 4 different VTubers. A VTuber called buffpup, Eye Candy, Rose Doodle, and Vchiban.
I have high hopes for what their models look like.
Oh boy! So I'll go ahead and I'll link you the Vchiban wiki here, so you can kind of take a look at that.
Okay.
So they're not your typical VTuber agency. They're more like an indie group more than anything else, which is really fun. And it's kind of like a family. And I don't know what their plans are for the future, or for if they want to expand upon that, or if it just wants to be themselves. But it's really fun dynamic that they all have. buffpup is a dog, or I guess a wolf VTuber that's buff. I met her offline and her credentials definitely hold up. She's very buff. And yeah, so she's super cool. Then you have Eye Candy, which is really cool. I like the word, the play on words on her name because it's AI, which is I, right? So she's an AI like bot, right? So she's like AI, but it's Eye Candy. So I think it's cool. And then Rose Doodle, which is super adorable. I love her VTuber model. She's very cutesy, very anime-like, even though all of these are kind of like anime-like, but Rose Doodle's model is in particular I'm a big fan of because it's just very expressive and it's got this art style that I really truly like. And then Vchiban, he's super awesome. He does actually some music, some really funny music, kind of like almost parody type music.
So by the way, I went and looked at they have likes and things on and dislikes, and I just want to say for Vchiban, likes, ass, buns, bakeries, dump trucks, the color pink, dads.
Yeah, that's Vchiban. Correct. That is the bun master.
So these 4, I assume, became friends, got together, and then made this group rather than a group was made and the 4 of them were brought on.
Correct. Exactly. So the opposite can be done with a group, which is I think super cool. And it's different from the usual VTuber agency type thing, which I think a bunch of different a variety of agencies need to exist in order to have, some sort of harmony. And I think this is one of the coolest ones personally. And they're all super great, and the dynamic is great too.
Oh yeah, they have their own website with their own lore.
They have their own games.
Wow.
They have
Play Now. I see that.
They have a Five Nights at Freddy's spin-off game.
Oh, stop it!
Where it's so the funny. 4 of them. Where the 4, I played it myself. It's crazy. It's actually Five Nights at Freddy's, but instead you have to look out for Rose Doodle, Vchiban, Eye Candy, and buffpup. Crazy. Guess who's Foxy?
I would say buffpup makes the most sense, but maybe I'm wrong.
No, you are 100% correct. You should follow your gut. That is 100% true. Yeah. She will come after you.
That makes sense. They have varsity jackets and stuff. This is so entertaining to see. Like, the merch is out of control.
Isn't it cool?
In my mind, I'm thinking, oh, it's like an indie group. They're doing their thing. Bless them. And I was about to ask you, what's the difference between this and just like a group of friends who collaborate all the time and maybe like hang out on a Discord? And I realized the difference is the full ass merch page with like some genuinely good looking merch, and like they're making games. This is a whole other level above. We're just friends who hang out.
Exactly. It's cool. They're capitalizing on it, which I think is great. Actually, I think buffpup, one of buffpup's merch actually almost I feel not literally, but it was a big old joke in my community that buffpup almost got me banned because I do this thing. Well, okay, I didn't do anything, but I had this thing where I have my community try to send me clips, and if I laugh or I smile, then I lose, right? And so I have to spin a wheel of punishment. And one of the punishments was I have to buy some sort of merch, and everybody was unanimously was buy buffpup statue. And buffpup statue is very suggestive.
You don't have to tell me that, because based on the fact that on this page alone, I can buy the buffpup doggy style flavor drink.
Shout outs to Gamer Subs.
It's so funny to me. Also, I'm incredibly weirded out because I'm pretty sure on their page, the key art that you see immediately when you go there, I genuinely think it's done by one of the artists who works on Monster Prom. And I have no knowledge if that's true or not. I'm trying to figure it out right now, but the art is so similar, it's blowing my mind.
Hey, new character?
I mean, they look like they could be in it, so I'm already freaking out. Like, I'm about to send a message after we're done, like, was this you, dude?
Was this you? Bro, be real with me, bro.
Also, it is incredibly funny to me the way people lean into certain aspects of their character. You have one who's like almost the, like a J-pop icon character. You have one who is like, I'm kind of a scientist, but in a cyberpunky retro future vibe. And you have one who's like, I'm the flirt. I'm a little flirty. And I sing because I have a microphone. And then you have one who's like, my underwear says smash. And I sell doggy style drinks. And it's like, I see what this is.
It's a fun dynamic, man. Let me tell you.
I get it.
And they're just as fun off stream as they are on stream. So it's cool. They're very genuine, and I really like them. Moving back to the east side, another VTuber agency that's very prominent in the Japan front is a VTuber agency called VSPO. But they're mostly oriented in esports.
Interesting.
So gaming. So instead of more idly type stuff that you see from Hololive, this is more for playing games and professional gaming and esports.
Really?
You have some crazy gamers in this agency. And I am actually a very avid fighting game player. I love fighting games and stuff. I competed for over a decade. And some of these girls are legit insane. Some of them are almost one of the best players in the world in Japan, which, by the way, is very hard to do in Japan because it's so insane over there, the skill level.
As a fan of, fighting games myself, I love going to EVO. I think it's like that kind of stuff's great. I love watching it online and esports in general across the board. I know how it works. I understand the vibe. I'm so curious. A great example is a person is in a fighting game tournament, for example. How on earth do they guarantee that it's them playing if it's behind a model?
If they go to an event, one of them did go to an offline event. Usually it's them, it's their tag, and I guess there's no real way to be able, it's more so like, why would you even do that in the first place? You kind of match up with different credentials. Like if you see, let's say, somebody there that's doing really well, you usually are like, okay, do they play it on stream or do they play it? They kind of try to match up some credentials and stuff. There really hasn't been a time where they impersonated one of them. There definitely has been many times where people compete and they rep their Oshi. Many times. Actually, there was one that won $1 million, repped their Hololive Oshi and left.
Damn.
Like straight up.
I guess
it was crazy.
Like one of the things I'm curious about is, so let's say, for example, I create a model and her name is like Sexy Chicken, right? And
let's go, Sexy Chicken.
Right, and sexy, but it's like
my Oshi.
Like SEKSI.
Yeah, sexy chicken,
sexy
my Kami Oshi.
Yeah. And it's, a gorgeous chicken woman. I don't know why that would be, but beautiful chicken woman. And I decide I'm going to enter a tournament. And I'm just always the chicken woman, but then couldn't I just get someone to play the game while I'm just on screen?
You mean particularly online?
Yeah, I guess I'm just trying to figure out how you take it to esports and then do it on a professional level. Like I can imagine playing, any sort of PvP game or whatever on stream for fun as a VTube model, doing all your stuff. Like that I get. Enjoy. I'm trying to figure out the next level above that, which is the esports level of there's cash prizes, there's titles and awards and all sorts of stuff to earn. How do you ensure that it's actually the person? I have no clue. If they aren't going there live.
Yeah, no, I understand. I understand that. And there's been lots of online esports events that did this. Well, it's usually, I would think, down to three things. One is obviously if you do that, then you kind of lose integrity and you kind of breach some sort of code of conduct within the company.
Are you telling me that Sexy Chicken has no integrity? How dare you?
Listen, if Sexy Chicken is anything but sexy, all right, I'm going to start questioning it, okay? If Sexy Chicken is sexy and also good at fighting games, I'm going to be like, wait a minute. Hold on a minute. You can't have the cake and eat it, okay?
I mean, Sexy Chicken can. Sexy Chicken can.
But two, I think there's definitely like a trust system. And I don't know if you've ever played like competitive like esports and stuff like that, but there's some sort of competitive integrity that people have.
Sure.
Usually the people that are in this corporation, they're in it for gaming. Right, this agency in particular. And there's not necessarily like I'm here for the heck of it and I'm just going to game on the side, right? So the people that actually get these talents on board, they know that they have some gaming talent and they have a knack for competitive gaming. So what's stopping them from necessarily getting on stream and hiring, I don't know, a professional player of some kind, which, by the way, in Japan, that's also like an honor system type thing too.
I would imagine so. Yeah.
Honorifics there are insane. Especially after going there myself, the honor system is just insane. So I cannot imagine them doing cheating. There is probably cheating a lot, but it's definitely much more like the consensus behind it is just not as, prominent as, let's say, like over here, where it was okay, you could probably hire someone from Fiverr, have them play Street Fighter for you and, place well, whatever. But obviously, if you do well in a tournament, there's also, which is the third thing, which is if you do well, let's say you place 5th in this crazy stacked tournament online, and then you play the game again and you're just like low rank, there's also like that's a risk that they have to take, and there's some suspicion, and people aren't stupid. So, all that it's a consideration, but technically speaking, no one's necessarily stopping them from hiring a professional player.
Can I make the assumption also that it's kind of like when you watch a Let's Player or someone play a game, and it's not necessarily about their skill with the game or if the game they're playing is any fun to you, but it's more about watching that person or those people play the game. So in this case, the audience doesn't particularly care or think about if they're actually playing. It's more about the idea of watching
their favorite personality play.
Yeah, okay.
Right? Yeah, that's more so in the lines of like Hololive. Hololive is definitely a lot of streamers and talents that do that. They just play games and people watch specifically to watch their favorite streamer play a certain game, like go through a game. With the exception of a few, there are some cracked gamers in Hololive, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, we talked about it,
VSPO in particular is just all based around the idea of competitive gaming.
Gotcha.
And gamers and stuff.
So people are tuning in to see the plays, to see the skill.
Yeah, and not to mention, they're actually like great personalities themselves too. You can't just be a gamer, but you also have to be an entertainer, and that's kind of like the whole package here. Some of the most popular VTubers here is Hinano. Hinano's probably one of the most popular ones. Then you have Kuromu. Kuromu is one of my personal favorites. She's super cute, super adorable. And then you have people like Uruha and people like Met. So yeah, there's a lot of different VTubers in this that are really big, and they also they pride themselves in their gaming talent, you know. But also, I know that VSPO does a lot of GTA 5 roleplay servers, and a lot of people love those. But yeah, that's VSPO in a nutshell. And that's another thing that I like is a VTuber agency that's more focused on gaming rather than, you know, being more idle and concert-y type thing. So
yeah, so there's organizations kind of out there for any sort of I don't want to say genre, that's not right, but you know, like anything that you could be into, there's definitely an organization that focuses on that.
It's more so like they're trying to find their way because there's many agencies. I mean, if I could pull up a list, there's a ton of them, but none of them really stand out as much as the ones that I'm showing you today. Okay. Not to say that there's not a bunch of them that do stand out, but these are probably the most prominent ones that I have found. And you know, the agency is only as good as their talents too. Mm-hmm. So if their talents aren't doing well, then you don't really get to hear about the agency either. So that's usually how it goes.
I don't know that you would have the inside knowledge of this, but for example, if I'm an independent VTuber and I'm doing my thing and I'm very successful and I have a great audience, what is the benefit of me joining a organization of VTubers, like-minded VTubers?
When it comes to the content creation and stuff like that, it's really fun to do it with like-minded people. Mm-hmm. So instead of searching for collabs, they have like-minded individuals and fun friends within their own agency. So it's really easy to be able to make content with people, like-minded people. There's also the idea of management. That's what it is. So if you want to have some help with certain content ideas or being more organized and just having somebody there to be able to kind of guide you, joining a agency could benefit you as well. And I think those are primarily the two biggest things. And there's also like other added bonuses. That's not from all of them, but there's also, you know, help monetarily potentially with projects that you have and maybe helping you with sponsors, more so like just typical agency help, right? And having a manager. So those are just a few things that people really like. And when it comes to, when you get into like the bigger agencies, that's when you get to go into, you're adopting not just a new agency, but like you also have like an entire audience that also watches the agency in general. Like, for example, Niji Sanji, like Hololive, like another company that I'm going to be going into right now, Face Connect. You know, these are all very big companies that have something established already. And to be able to get into that, to kind of bypass the entire building from the ground up an IP, that's kind of one of the main reasons that I've seen that people join agencies. And
it's probably, I would imagine, contingent on the managers, the teams, etc., actually being very good at their jobs and organization and that kind of thing. So I would imagine there are many that start and then disappear, right? They're
oh yeah.
So
oh yeah. And I think one of them, as we all know, that disappeared within I want to say 48 hours is VShojo. That's something that was crazy that no longer exists the last time we talked.
Yeah, what happened with all of that? What was, because that was very dramatic and then silence.
Yeah, this is one of the examples of, which is very sad because VShojo was a very unique company in the regards of they took in, it initially started off as like a group of friends. They came together and they made this group, right? Mm-hmm. But they wanted to go even more and expand further beyond. And they started to get other existing VTubers. And I think at the end of the day, well, you can narrow it down to just bad management, bad decisions, and priorities were all out of whack.
Right.
What essentially happened was VShojo was already kind of rocky. They had a lot of mistakes. And of course, they had a lot of...
Was that like management mistakes? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, management mistakes, things behind the scenes that seemed off. But of course, they had a lot of really big talents. So they were... If they were okay, then it's totally fine. And
right.
the whole point of VShojo is that they don't own any of the IPs, which served kind of as a double-edged sword in this regard, because if you do not have ownership of the IP, which in my opinion is super cool, right? Anybody can join and they can kind of be a part of this big project without them keeping your IP. At the end of the day, that's kind of what led to their downfall, which is really ironic. The thing that made VShojo like really unique is what ultimately led them to their downfall, because now they had some problems leading up to this moment, but at the end of the day, what really drove the nail in the coffin was Iron Mouse had done a subathon. I'm sure you remember her subathon. It got insane amounts of subs, right?
Yeah,
it got number one briefly. Number one broke the records for the most amount of subs briefly. All of that was in the name of charity. She was giving half of it to charity, to the IDF, which is the Immunodeficiency Foundation, which is a charity that she cares deeply about because she's also affected by an immunodeficiency, right?
Right.
And so, people donate plasma, donate this, and she was going to donate all of it. And all of it, all the funds, all of the money that she accumulated was handled by VShojo. And that money, essentially, they took that money and they didn't give it to charity. Long story short, Iron Mouse found out about the mismanagement of the funds that was supposed to go to charity, things she cared about the most, and she was like she should be, livid, very upset,
so then
very
she put
sad.
them on blast, and that's how it all sort of went down.
Exactly. And at that point,
Gotcha.
something happened behind the scenes where she said, I am departing from VShojo. When that happened, it was huge because Iron Mouse was one of the co-founders of VShojo. She was one of the original, right next to Project Melody, Iron Mouse, and a couple of others. They were kind of the founding members of VShojo. So she's like, the whole reason why VShojo's even on the map is because of Iron Mouse.
Right.
Then more things started to come out about them, and things started to make sense. And all those mistakes that were happening prior to the situation started to make sense. It all started to kind of connect. And at that point, Iron Mouse left. She could leave because VShojo doesn't own her IP. And prior to that, another really big VTuber, and like I said, one of the things that were kind of odd prior to this happening was another one of the biggest members of their org was Zentreya. I don't know if you have heard of her or have seen her. You probably have.
Maybe.
Anyway, she left, and that was another really big member that was a kind of one of the beginning members. And so people were asking questions. So when Iron Mouse did it, okay, nail in the coffin, that's it.
Right.
Then other people started leaving, right? You had people like Michi Mochivi leaving. You had Project Melody. You had people like Fruit. And everyone started leaving because they hear about this. Then come to find out that none of them were getting paid for like months.
Yikes.
Months, like half a year. And they didn't know necessarily why, but none of them were getting paid. They were just continued going, like they were just in desperate need of some funds, it seems like. Mismanagement, like I said, misplacement, mismanagement, incompetency.
Yeah, they thought they could get away with like, well, we can pay everyone with the money from this other thing, like that kind of shenanigans. Yeah. It definitely, even though it's not one-to-one, it rings very similarly to the days of early YouTube with all the multi-channel networks, where it was like, Machinima and Maker and Defy and all them. They all had like their own, something's wrong with the background. And there's a reason why none of them exist anymore. Because there was something wrong with it's like, you could feel it. And when people started to leave, they would hemorrhage very quickly. It always took one or two big names to be like, I'm done. And then everyone jumped ship.
Yeah, pretty much. That's how it kind of, ultimate what it became.
Yeah.
Is that. Then one of the craziest things I found out about this was that even though this happened, they tried to expand in Japan. So there was VShojo Japan, actually. They tried to make a different branch called VShojo Japan. And they were advertising in Japan, and they made these advertisements on Japanese, I think it was in Akihabara.
Okay.
Where they rented out pillars for ad space for VShojo, and I think it costs close to like over $1 million. People were like Oh boy. So you had the funds to do this, but not to give it to charity, huh? Ultimately, it just was mismanagement, incompetency, it's hubris, and it's just...
Yeah, that's usually how it ends.
It led to its downfall.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly. And everyone was very sad because VShojo, I think, was a very good agency to exist because it was new, it was unique, it was newer, and everybody seemed, on paper, it seemed like the perfect company, right?
Sure.
But ultimately, that's not what happened.
Yeah, it's wild that last time we were talking about VShojo and how the difference between them and Hololive is Hololive was like, no, you're this character and the talent is playing this character and we don't talk about the VTube, like what tech we're using or whatever. And VShojo was like, no, we'll tell you.
It's really funny to me that they would make all these decisions knowing that their biggest money makers could just walk out the door at any time without any sort of repercussions. But yeah, that's essentially what happened to VShojo in a nutshell. There's way more to it. There's so much of it, but I don't. And I trust me, the amount of videos that I saw on my timeline, I'm like, damn, I need to log off for like a week because I keep hearing about it. Oh, there's another video on my timeline. Cool. Sounds good.
You were going to mention one other agency before we got off on this tangent, and I can't remember what it was.
I did, and this one's probably one of my favorite ones because they're so out of left field. I'll go into them briefly.
Okay.
They're called Face Connect. Face Connect is probably, out of all of the agencies that I told you, all of them kind of have a theme. These are the most... How do I say this? I want to say if Twitch Chat was a VTuber agency, they would be Phase Connect. They are essentially streamers by heart. They're just streamers. That's it. If they want to do other things, they most definitely can. But if you take a look at a lot of the different things that they've done, it's just very content heavy. So some of the biggest ones that I personally have, and actually I have a cutout of her in the back here because I stole her from a convention. It was...
Should you be admitting to that?
Actually, hold on. Strike that from the record. The CEO of Face Connect, kindly lent her to me.
Wink. Yeah.
Wink, wink. But yeah, this is Tenma. She's great. She is one of the first members of Face Connect, and I don't want to say that VTubers aren't funny because they are. Trust me. But like Tenma has probably made me laugh more than any other VTuber that I have watched and or interacted with. She's great. One of the things that I really love is I think the CEO is really funny because he decided to make coffee, but they're made from every single VTuber. It's called Face Connect coffee. Let me go ahead and show you.
Of course. Okay.
And he sent me like an entire case of coffee, and it's like a meme that he deals with, kind of like deals in coffee.
Sure.
He's just trying to sell the coffee so much that it makes me laugh every time.
That's really cute.
Does it.
Yeah. Coffee seems to be one of those things that it's like, are you a streamer? Do you want a coffee brand after you? It's a thing you can do.
Exactly. And they actually have a new generation coming out. They just announced a new set of VTubers that are coming out pretty soon. But this is also another company that has experimented with bringing in existing VTubers that have already existed. For example, one of them, which I really love, the decision that they made with bringing on this specific VTuber, is her name is Cleo Aite. I can never pronounce her last name. I'm so sorry. But she is a historian. She's a teacher. She teaches history class to her Twitch chat.
That is very cute. Oh, I like that a great deal.
love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she essentially just goes on stream and she teaches chat about like the medieval times and history and stuff. She actually plays like Civ and a bunch of other games to be able to teach people about history. And I thought that was so cool. But she was one of the existing VTubers outside of Face Connect, and she came into Face Connect, and I think it was a great addition. Alongside a couple of other VTubers that also debuted with her generation, air quotes, which is just like they call it I think they call it Invaders, which I thought was kind of a cool little nod to like them invading the agency. Yeah, so this is another great VTuber company that I enjoy quite a bit and is filled with a lot of great talents and really colorful personalities. But yeah, there's other ones as well. Like just special shout outs to things like Vdere and V4 Mirai and Chroma Shift, all those other VTuber agencies that are smaller, but they're still doing great. Hopefully they're still doing good by their talents, right?
Yeah.
Hopefully that's wishful thinking at this point, because there's been a lot of agencies that's really screwed over a lot of talents over the years. Ones that I have actually worked with myself, and I was not expecting them to be so bad.
It happens. There's, when money's involved, sometimes people get the wrong ideas.
Yeah, unfortunately. But that's the beauty of VTubing. You do not need to be a part of an agency. You can just be independent if you want to. And trust me, there is lots of great independent VTubers that exist currently.
Sure.
And I'll go ahead and I'll name some right. Well, actually, you probably know of one of the biggest ones. Iron Mouse is an independent VTuber.
So I've heard.
Believe that?
Yeah, word on the street. Yeah.
Word on the street is. But I will go ahead and I'll show you some of the most popular
I'd love
independent
to see that.
VTubers out there. One of them that you might have seen is a VTuber called Neuro-sama. This is probably one of the most unique ones. She is 100% AI. But she is.
Yes, I have.
You probably have seen her.
It was like a TikTok or a YouTube short or something, and it was her singing a song, I think.
Yeah, so her creator, its name is Vettel. He's a little turtle. I'll go ahead and I'll link you a picture of Vettel.
Oh, I do know this turtle because I've definitely seen videos. Yeah. Yes. And I was like, you can kind of be anything you want to be when you VTube. Literally just a clip art looking ass turtle.
Yeah. But they also made a model from that, and he sometimes hangs out on top of Neuro-sama's head and stuff. But she's primarily the main focus, and he's kind of like the professor. Right. It's a really cool dynamic because, by the way, how you doing, Swarm? How you doing? They're probably timestamping this in the comments as we speak. Her community is 100% one of the funniest, and every time Neuro-sama gets mentioned, they timestamp it in the chat. How you doing, Swarm? How we doing? So, anyways, their dynamic is one of my favorites because it's like almost this father-daughter, like this Frankenstein and Frankenstein's monster type of thing. It's almost like a newborn child, right? And you're just like, how is she gonna grow up to be in the future? And she learns things, and Vettel tries to be able to kind of tone down some of the things by adding filters, and all of a sudden, randomly, she bypasses the filter for some reason, and Vettel's like, okay, how did you do that? Wait, what? Okay, do this. He's like, I can't. It's like, okay, your filter's working, so how did you say that? So there's like funny, weird, like hiccups that happen like that that make the streams super entertaining. And he did program her to sing. So he basically took the code and made this AI back when AI was becoming huge, right? It was like on the up and coming, and she's like the only AI VTuber, because there is quite a few AI projects that occurred, and she's probably the most prominent, the biggest, and the one that stuck out and stuck around. And it just made for some of the most hilarious moments and the most hilarious events ever, to the point where Vettel made an evil twin sister equivalent called Evil Neuro.
Right. Skynet. I get it.
Skynet. Yeah, correct. Exactly. It's really funny because when she first started collaborating, or she first started streaming, right, Vettel brought Neuro-sama out to collaborate with others and talk to her. And she was infamously known for just being savage and kind of just being so matter of fact and so blunt about things because, she's not human. So she doesn't have the filters that most humans have. So she's just so matter of fact, and it turned into comedy gold. And then when Vettel made Evil Neuro started showing a little bit more signs of, okay, she's supposed to be evil. Okay, sure. But she had a little bit more of a heart, it seems like. So Evil Neuro is kind of like adorable.
Cute.
And Neuro-sama, which is not the evil one, but she's like a little bit more savage.
A good friend can tell you the truth.
The other ones that are in this indie VTuber rabbit hole is people like Fillion. And I'm pretty sure you've seen Fillion before.
I know Fillion because of a video with Neurosama. But also,
yes.
I know Fillion because I've seen a short where I assume... Now, I don't know how people are VTubing, but I do know that when they do... A lot of the time, it's people, they have pedals or they have buttons they press or whatever. But for some reason, Fillion seems like a person wearing a full-ass suit.
Yeah, so that's her whole spiel. She does not have a 2D model. She has a 3D model, and she has an entire setup where she can roam around and do whatever and do crazy stuff, right? And she does, I mean, she has a full mocap suit, and she does flips, and she does crazy stunts. Like sometimes she's kind of like known for this, but sometimes like her model freaks out whenever like one of the mocap things like kind of freak out. So sometimes she walks and her leg is like completely like distorted.
I have seen the crumpled. Like, that's what I've seen. Yeah.
And she also actually hosts and produces the VTuber Awards. So they have an Oscar type awards that was founded by Fillion. It's been 2 of them so far. And it's a big old production. Big old huge production. They hire 3D assets and they have awards and they have similar production value where they have different nominees and they have the people make speeches and they have people vote and stuff. It's really fun.
I gotta win one of those. That's my objective in life now. I want to win one of those. I don't know how. I don't know why. I'm going to figure it out, though, and I'm going to win one.
Sexy chicken needs to be a thing, okay?
Man,
and he needs to be up there.
I got to, but I want to do it like, I want to earn that. I want to do like the grossest, worst VTube character ever and like work my way up. I want them to be like, we had to give it to you. We had to give you this award because you fought so hard to get here. I want that.
Listen, I don't know if anybody else would take pride in being the ugliest, so you'd probably be in that category all by yourself.
Yes,
okay?
just a gross
you'd be
monstrosity. Yeah.
That would be kind of funny, actually, just to see you there. Just like, yeah, I'm the ugliest. Let's go. Look at my single eye.
Could I walk in as just me? Be like, it was me all along, you fools. I'm a human person, right? And I got him.
It would be really funny if you went there with a mocap suit and you just took off the mask and you're like, it was me.
A real boy. Yeah,
a real boy. I think Fillion somehow, I don't know if I'm remembering this correctly. I think T-Pain showed up.
Awesome.
Like, I don't know.
So whoa! So I don't even have to have a VTuber character. I could just show up.
I'm trying to remember if he had a VTuber, like, model
for T-Pain. If it wasn't just a digital version of T-Pain, I don't know what we're doing.
I'm remembering incorrectly. I have to refresh my mind. But either way, another one that I would probably throw into this pool. I mean, I can't go through all of them. There's too many of them, but maybe I'll do two more and stuff like that. This is another one of one of my dear friends, and she's just like a freaking riot. You might have seen her from a specific moment that occurred in her career. Her name is Bao the Whale, and she has a beautiful singing voice. Let me just put that on record first. Okay. She's a gorgeous singer. She makes lots of music, but she is also incredibly and I say this in the most funniest way possible. She is the horniest VTuber for werewolves.
You know, you had me in the first half. I did not know that you were like, she's the horniest. I'm like, yeah, no, that probably checks out. There's a lot of hornball VTubers. And then you said 4 werewolves, and now I have questions. So many questions. What do you mean?
Oh boy.
Just like, wouldn't that just, so she's a furry? Is that what or is this like, no. Just werewolves.
I'm so sorry, Bao, if you're watching this. I'm so sorry. Yeah, so, hey, listen, all right. Do you know Elden Ring?
I do know Elden Ring, yeah.
Do you remember a character called Blythe?
Oh, yeah. The furry awakening for many a gamer when it comes to that game, yeah.
Sure. Imagine having an awakening. Imagine being so, like, in 4K, so horny for main that the voice actor for the character reached out and did a collab with her. Because
That's the dream. Let's not even pretend. That's the dream. I love that.
Actually, yeah, I'm pretty sure they collab. I do know that one of her fans sent her clip to him and did a cameo for her.
Cute.
And she literally got on stream for, I want to say, 38 minutes to react to it. And it was probably when she peaked in viewership.
That's really cute.
because
That's fun.
because yeah, it was really fun. It was really cool. But ever since then, anytime there is a furry character,
Whoa. Werewolves.
yes, but I don't. But she had her eyes on Venom when Marvel Rivals was coming out. Just letting you know.
Okay, all right.
Okay, you said that she's a furry, right? She says she's not a furry, but she actually held a trial with streamer lawyers, not actual lawyers, but streamer lawyers. Sure. Okay, air quotes. That tried to convince the jury, Twitch chat, with witnesses and a judge, that she's not a. So that was the infamous "I'm not a furry" trial.
Can we? I just realized, like, I am not creative. Here we are, like
Jesse, hold on. I real quick. I'm so sorry. Nobody will make you feel like that more than Bao. I'm just telling you, right? Every time I talk to her, I'm like, how do you have this mind?
I genuinely
like
have never once thought of doing something like that. When I stream, I'm like, hey y'all, let's play a video game. And I think like I'm doing a stream. Really, the level of entertainment across the board, especially with like a younger generation of streamers and what they accomplish, is crazy to me. And doing a trial with Twitch, like with chat as the jury, like that's hyper entertaining. I understand why that would be really fun to watch.
Exactly. Oh, it was a blast. And actually, one of my good friends, his name is Nags, and he's like me. He's not a VTuber. He's a flesh tuber. And he was there with a suit.
We need to never call it flesh tuber again.
Have I never told you that?
Is that a thing?
Have I never told you that that's?
Can I be?
Have you not? Did I have not told you that is what we are, Jesse? We are flesh tubers.
I mean, that's what I am on certain sites. Yeah. But I don't like if that's what we're doing, I am here for it. We need to bring all the lexicon of like, sure, I'll be a flesh tuber. I'm here for that.
The proper term is face cam tuber, I guess.
No, that's flesh tuber. That's like
some people call us, VTubers call us flesh tubers.
That's like when I found out that here in the States we say streamer, right? But overseas, someplace, instead of like a disc jockey, right? They have broadcast jockeys. I want to be a BJ so badly. Are you kidding me? Just like flesh tuber, all of this checks out for me. I am here for it. Love it. Big fan.
Yeah, no, I think we should definitely embrace it. I mean, that's how it goes. Sometimes they call us fleshies too.
Fleshies? Oh my God.
Fleshies.
Yes.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
Yes. Wait, but what's the slang for a VTuber?
You fleshy.
Like a tubie? What do I get to call the VTubers then?
We haven't gotten that far yet. Synthoids.
Oh, these synthoids.
Something like, well, to be honest with you, there's been apparently, from the last time we talked, apparently there's like slurs for robots now.
Clankers,
for AI.
Dude. That just sounds like
something. Oh my God.
That sounds like something they stole from like Battlestar Galactica. When they were like these toasters.
Yeah, true.
Okay.
These toasters. Yeah. All right, buddy. All right,
I won't say any of that.
There.
I, for one, welcome our robot overlords. Whenever they're ready, you take over.
See, I've seen iRobot. None of them thought to be nice to the robots.
Yeah.
Come on,
I will
Smith,
be very nice. I am gonna go full Cypher in the Matrix. I will sell out humanity so quickly. Yeah. You kidding me?
But yeah, that's kind of the. So, anyways, as I was saying, my friend Nags, who is a face cam streamer, a flesh tuber, a fleshy.
Right, a fleshy.
He was there in a green screen with a suit, and it was so cursed because it was like a Who Framed Roger Rabbit like trial. It was just like a bunch of VTubers and then Nags randomly there.
That's so funny.
Just shout outs to Nags. But yeah, that's just the creativity of some of the, and it was one of the biggest streams of the year. I feel like that Bao's trial was one of the highlights of
That's
the year.
awesome.
When that
That's
happened.
very fun.
But yeah, that's a lot of the different VTubers, of course. And of course, we have to welcome our brand new independent VTubers, like the ones from VShojo. So they add that to the pool. But yeah, there's a lot of them. And I imagine the comments are going to be overflowing with recommendations
course,
from
I am
not just
down
independents,
to check them out.
but
Yeah.
agency. And I'm sure a lot of them would love to be on Geek Enders or something like that.
We're
Just
dabbling
Ollie
in
was.
the VTube world as it is. We've had a few episodes. We've brought people on, so like
That's the best way to be able to get to know the community is to interact with them. And then you're already doing that. So you're already doing great. So
Cool.
Good job.
Hey, I try. What can I say?
But yeah, that's kind of a little quick TLDR, type of thing as to kind of the agencies, the type of VTubers that are out there, and the amount of talent and entertainment that is out there too.
Awesome.
These VTubers at the end of the day, they're streamers like you and I, but they just happen
well, not
to
like
look
me. They're doing it
like
way
really pretty.
better than me. I am.
Yeah.
The more I learn, the more I'm like, I am not good at this.
Dude, welcome to the club, dude. We welcome our robot overlords, as you said.
If they got the ideas, yeah, I get it. That's again, those synthoids. They think too fast.
Those synthoids
think too fast for us fleshies.
I'm just a fleshy bro.
Yeah.
I just eat Kit Kats and popcorn, and that's it.
Damn, that's the downfall of all fleshies. The need to eat.
The need to eat, exactly. Well, that is pretty much what I got for you today. Hopefully,
That's great.
You had a good idea.
Yes.
Any questions? Anything that you want to know before we kind of wrap it up?
I think I learned more than enough when it comes to the world outside of Hololive and Holostars. And I'm fascinated by all of it. I would love for people in the comments to leave not just recommendations, but also things they think I should check out. And then next time we kind of roll in together, ask you about and dive a little deeper. Because I'm sure there are some things, like my knowledge base, I'm sure there are questions I should be asking. But I don't know that I have the knowledge to say, oh, what about this or this or this? And maybe there are some things that seem obvious to someone watching right now that are not obvious to me. And so maybe that's a path to go down in the future.
Yes, exactly. But if you just have your curiosity, if your curiosity is satiated, then good.
Cool.
I'm glad.
You continue to do so. Thank you so much.
Oh, I did want to mention one thing. It's kind of like besides the point for the, it's kind of like a little side note, but another game did drop that's similar to HoloCure.
Okay.
In the regards of not necessarily gameplay or anything like that, but so
hold on. Is it
yeah.
called Hell Maiden?
No.
Oh.
No.
All right.
No, actually.
There's a game that I saw that looked literally like HoloCure, except it wasn't, but it did. And I was like, oh, I got to download that. And so I did. I haven't played it yet. But all right, what are you talking about?
So it's primarily in the fact of it's a game inside of the Hololive rabbit hole. It's a Hololive fan game.
Gotcha.
But it's nothing like HoloCure. But it is like HoloCure in the fact that people outside of the rabbit hole can enjoy it. It's that good of a game.
Hold on.
It's actually,
I think I may have that. Well, all right. Instead of me trying to guess what it is that you're talking about, you can just tell me.
Well, why don't you guess? One more guess.
I'm trying to find it. I have so much on my desktop right now. I'm trying to find it on my desktop. Is it Fubuki Zero In on Hollow Earth Hololive Alternative?
No. No.
Okay.
No, that's funny though. I'm happy you mentioned that because that's a funny one. But no, this is a fan game that was published through Holo Indie, which is a subdivision of Hololive to be able to help fans publish their games of Hololive. Cool. And there's so many different ones. HoloCure is not a part of Holo Indie, actually.
Right,
and
that
the
was
reason
just
why
pure
is
fandom.
Yes, the creator Kay is an absolute giga chat in the fact that he doesn't want anything, any sort of monetary gain. He's just doing it for the love of the game and for the love of the rabbit hole, of the Hololive rabbit hole. So this in particular, though, is a game that's published through Holo Indie, and it is a game, I guess, are you a fan of platformers?
I mean, I am a fan. Am I good at them? It will take me longer than normal to beat them. But yeah, yeah.
So I wanted to kind of throw this out really quick. It's a game called Chrono Gear.
Oh, you mean Chrono Gear, Warden of Time, which is also on my desktop?
There you go. You got it. That's the one. Hey, you just have to sift through a couple of them, huh?
Yeah. Like I said, there's a lot on my desktop.
But I wanted to throw that out in the wind because I played this game, and I think this game is very unique in the way that there's a lot of fan games, Hololive fan games that are great. 3 in particular that stand out to me the most. I mean, there's so many great ones, but the ones that stand out to me the most is Holocure, and another one's Idle Showdown, which is the fighting game of Hololive, they did a fantastic job with that. And the third one is Chrono Gear. And the reason I say that is because not only did they make an insane video game when it comes to platforming mechanics, because it's a game based off of the VTuber in Hololive called Crony. And Crony is the whole generation. We can go into this all some other time, but Crony is essentially the Warden of Time. The whole generation represents certain concepts, and Crony is the concept of time. They incorporate gameplay elements to be able to, go through and platform with, speeding up times, slowing down time. And it's a really fun, very colorful, and they take the entire Hololive lore into consideration, and they make a super amazing game. But that's not necessarily why I recommend this. I recommend this because the dialogue, the interactions, and the story actually blew me away. I cannot believe, you would think the writing, the dialogue, and the interactions is so similar to what the Hololive talents would actually say that I would think that they were actually written by the Hololive talents themselves. The devs love the talents so much, and they've done so much research on them that it turned to be an incredible experience, not just gameplay wise, but story, interaction, dialogue wise, with a lot of different cameos from different talents. And you can get to know a lot of these characters and a lot of these VTubers through the story and dialogue, which I thought was insane. No other fan game has truly done that in the way that Chrono Gear has. So I highly suggest you give it a shot if you can, whenever you get some time, because it's really fun. And guess who's in there?
I'm going to assume that Ollie is in there.
Oh boy, your friendly neighborhood zombie is in there. You better believe it. She's in there. So lots of great, and it's so good.
Yeah. I mean, I have it, and I probably should.
I had a great time. So,
dude.
But anyways, just wanted to throw a quick shout out to that.
Yeah. No, thank you for doing that. I'm sure that would have been a comment anyway. So it's nice to have that. I moved it over to the section called "Play These, Dummy." So now I will, instead of it just being loaded in a pile of things to click on, it is now over here. So
play these, dummy.
I'll get on it. Yeah.
I like that. Awesome, brother. Well, thank you so much for having me.
My pleasure, as always. Ko, thank you so much for guiding me down this path towards a less flesh-tubey existence.
Yeah. Well, you know what's really funny? People were like, since you led down Jesse down the VTuber rabbit hole, because right now, my chat would say that you would freak out at this, but I'm currently playing FF14, and I just got to Shadowbringers.
Have you? I'm not going to say anything. Have you started it?
I did. I just got to the world, the new world.
Gotcha. All right.
Yeah.
Hey, man. Have the best time of your life. It is Shadowbringers rocks. Says, it is so good. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to spoil it for you. You will be like, I can't the entire time.
Bro, like real talk. I started it last year and I did a whole month of it because I promised my chat. We did a sub goal and I'm like, okay, I'll do a month of it and whatever. And I got through the whole month and I'm like, well, damn. And I actually got to Stormblood at the end of the month.
Sure.
I got through Heavensward. I got through base because I also did this thing where I played from 9 to 5, like a job.
Sure.
So
You were like doing it.
I
You
dressed
were
up
going
like
through it, yeah.
Yeah, no, I was streaming 9 a.m. in my suit till 5 p.m. clocking out,
Of course.
having a lunch and playing FF14. Got to Stormblood, which was great, and then I didn't play for an entire year. And people got very upset at me. Then I found out about vampires. Those are a thing in the FF14 streaming world. Anyways,
That's me.
Yeah.
I'm one of those. I will watch and be like,
Yeah.
ooh, are you going to have emotions? Great. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, no, just I got to that. That's like my next endeavor. So we got to talk about the cool stuff
Oh,
about
I will
FF14.
come on your stream when you beat Shadowbringers and be like, so? Oh, yeah, don't worry. I will show up for that.
I'm already very confused just by the trailer. So
I won't
very, very
tell
confused.
you a damn thing. Good. Be confused.
Okay, I will be.
Thank you so much again. This has been an absolute pleasure.
It's been a blast, brother. Thank you so much.